My name is Evelyn Harper, and I'm 58 years old as I record this on December 17th, 2025. What you're about to hear is the full, unfiltered story of how I, a single mother who spent 3 decades pouring every ounce of love, time, and money into my only daughter, ended up withdrawing all financial support for her wedding over one seemingly small tradition, walking her down the aisle. This isn't a short tale. It's the story of my entire adult life. The sacrifices, the quiet joys, the crushing disappointments, the moment I finally woke up, and the slow, beautiful rebuilding that came after. If you're settling in for a voiceover, get comfortable. This will take hours. I'm going to tell you everything, from the day I became a mother to the present moment, because only then will you truly understand why I did what I did and why I don't regret it. I grew up in a small town called Milford, Ohio, population 4,200. My father worked at the local auto repair shop. My mother was a part-time bookkeeper at the library. We weren't poor, but we weren't comfortable either. Christmas presents were practical, new coats, boots, books, but we had love. Sunday dinners were sacred. My parents always said, "Family is everything." I met Mark Reynolds when I was 20. He was 22, tall, dark-haired, with a smile that could melt ice. He worked construction, had big dreams of owning his own company one day. We fell hard and fast. By 21, I was pregnant. We married in a simple courthouse ceremony. My mother cried happy tears. My father shook Mark's hand and said, "Take care of my girl." Sophia Grace Reynolds was born on a snowy March morning in 1998. She was perfect, 7 pounds, 2 ounces, with a full head of dark hair and the bluest eyes I'd ever seen. Mark was there in the delivery room, holding my hand, cutting the cord. For the first couple of years, life felt like a dream. We rented a tiny 2-bedroom house on Maple Street. I stayed home with Sophia while Mark worked. We'd take walks in the evenings, pushing the stroller, planning our future. But cracks started appearing when Sophia was 2. Mark began staying out late with the guys. He'd come home smelling of beer, arguments got loud, money got tight. By the time Sophia was 4, he was gone. One Tuesday night in July, he packed a duffel bag while I sat on the couch holding Sophia, who was confused and crying. "I just need space, Evie," he said. "I'm not cut out for this." Space turned into silence. Child support checks bounced. Phone calls went unanswered. By Sophia's 6th birthday, he'd moved to Florida with a new girlfriend. He sent one postcard, a beach photo with "Thinking of you" scrawled on the back. That was it. I was 28, alone, with a little girl who kept asking, "When's Daddy coming home?" I didn't have the heart to tell her the truth yet. Instead, I became everything: mom, dad, breadwinner, cheerleader, nurse, teacher. I enrolled in night classes for nursing while working days as a waitress at the local diner. I'd study after Sophia went to bed, falling asleep at the kitchen table with textbooks open. Those years were exhausting. I remember nights when the electricity got shut off because I'd chosen to pay for Sophia's dance recital costume instead of the bill. I'd light candles, make it a camping adventure, and tell her stories until she fell asleep. I skipped meals so she could have seconds. I wore the same winter coat for 8 years so she could have new sneakers. But there were beautiful moments, too. Sophia's first steps in the living room, her first word, "Mama," the way she'd curl up on my lap while I read her Goodnight Moon for the 100th time, her kindergarten graduation when she ran to me in her tiny cap and gown and said, "I did it for you, Mommy." I started working as an RN when she was 8. The pay was better, the hours more stable. We moved into a small apartment, then finally, when she was 12, bought a modest 3-bedroom house with a yard. I took out a 30-year mortgage, but it was ours. Sophia helped me paint her room lavender. We planted tulips in the front bed every spring. Sophia was always bright, Straight A's, honor roll, student council. She played soccer, took art classes, volunteered at the animal shelter. She had friends, but she was selective, quality over quantity. When kids at school teased her about not having a dad, she'd come home quiet. I'd hold her while she cried. Then we'd bake cookies and talk about how strong women don't need anyone to complete them. High school brought boyfriends, heartbreaks, prom drama. I was there for every tear, every triumph. I co-signed her first car loan when she was 18, a used Honda Civic, paid for senior trip to Washington, D.C., helped with college applications. She got into 3 great schools and chose State University, 3 hours away, with a partial scholarship. College was expensive, even with aid. I took extra shifts, dipped into savings, sent care packages every month. She majored in marketing, interned at a big agency junior year, graduated cum laude. I drove to campus for graduation in May 2020, crying as she walked across the stage in her cap and gown. No father in sight, just me beaming in the audience. After graduation, she moved to Chicago for a job, rented a tiny studio, then bought a 1-bedroom condo at 26 with help from my gift toward the down payment, $25,000 I'd saved over years. I helped furnish it, couch, bed, kitchen stuff, sent money when the furnace broke or she had a root canal. She was independent, yes, but I was still her safety net. We talked every Sunday night. She'd tell me about work, dates, dreams. I'd tell her about my garden, the hospital, the new recipe I tried. She called me her best friend. Sophia met Ethan Caldwell at a marketing conference in 2022. He was 28, worked in finance, came from a stable family in the suburbs. They bonded over shared love of hiking and indie music. 6 months later, she called, "Mom, I'm bringing someone home for Thanksgiving. His name is Ethan." I liked him immediately. Polite, funny, looked at Sophia like she was the only person in the room. His parents, Richard and Diane, were warm. We had a lovely holiday. By spring 2023, they were talking marriage. Engagement came in October 2023, a sunset proposal in a park, ring with a sapphire, her birthstone, surrounded by diamonds. She FaceTimed me in tears of joy. I cried too. Wedding planning started slowly. Sophia wanted something modern, meaningful, not cookie cutter. We looked at venues online, rustic barns, historic mansions, gardens. She wanted wildflowers, string lights, food stations instead of plated dinner, non-traditional vows, mixed-gender bridal party. I'd been saving for this since she was little. My Sophia wedding fund had grown to $85,000, money from overtime, skipped vacations, small inheritance from my parents. I was ready to make her day magical. Ethan's parents offered rehearsal dinner and honeymoon. Tradition said bride's family paid the rest. I was proud to do it. We spent weekends dress shopping. She tried on 22 gowns before finding the one, off-the-shoulder lace with a long train, $9,800. I paid without blinking. Venue, a beautiful restored mansion outside Chicago, $35,000 total. Deposit, $12,000 from me. Photographer, $7,000. Florist, $8,000. Band, $6,000. Planner, $10,000. Bachelorette in Tulum, $12,000 for 8 girls. Budget ballooned to $150,000 plus. I took extra shifts, refinanced the house to free up cash. It started innocently one Sunday over coffee at my kitchen table. We were finalizing the ceremony layout. "Mom, I've made a decision," Sophia said. "No one's walking me down the aisle. I'm walking alone. It's more empowering that way. No giving away like I'm property." I felt a pang but smiled. "That's your choice, honey, but I've always pictured that moment with you. Maybe a mother-daughter walk, or you could walk with your bridesmaids?" She shook her head. It's symbolic, Mom, rejecting patriarchal traditions. Dad left anyway. He forfeited any claim. I want to enter as my own woman. I understood the feminism. I'd raised her to question norms. But this hurt. To me, the walk wasn't ownership, it was celebration. I'd walked every step of her life alone with her. This would be my final walk beside her before her new chapter. I let it go at first, but it kept coming up. My sister Linda called Sophia, "You're breaking your mom's heart." Diane suggested tradition gently. Friends asked. Sophia doubled down. "It's my wedding, my principles. If I compromise, I'm a hypocrite." I suggested alternatives, walking halfway with me, side entrance, both mothers walking her. No. 3 months before the wedding, we were on Zoom with the officiant. "Who gives the bride?" the officiant asked. "No one," Sophia said firmly. "I walk alone." Something snapped. Tears came. "Sophia, if this tradition is so meaningless and outdated that you reject it completely, then why am I paying for a wedding full of other traditions? The white dress symbolizes purity, an old concept. The bouquet toss, the cake cutting, the father-daughter dance you still want even though there's no father. The very idea that the bride's family pays is rooted in dowry culture. If you're truly independent, if you don't need anyone to give you away, then you don't need me to give away $150,000 either. Be independent with the finances too." Silence. Then explosion. "Are you blackmailing me with money?" She hung up. The next weeks were hell. Sophia called me controlling, toxic, manipulative, posted vague Instagram stories about parents who can't let go. Ethan texted, "This is unfair. We've booked everything on your promise." Family fractured. Half said I was petty, half said Sophia was ungrateful after everything I'd sacrificed. My best friend Karen said, "You've given her the world. If she wants full independence, give it to her." I cried for days, flashed through 28 years, every skipped meal, every overtime shift, every tear I'd hidden so she wouldn't worry, and now excluded from the one moment I'd dreamed of since she was born. I made the call, canceled remaining payments, returned the dress, full refund, lost the venue deposit, $12,000 gone. Told Sophia, "I love you unconditionally. I'll be at your wedding as your mother, but I won't fund a day where I'm not wanted in the role that matters most to me. You and Ethan are capable adults. Pay for your own vision." She screamed, cried, blocked me for a month. They downsized drastically. Backyard at Ethan's parents' house, 50 guests, catered barbecue, simple dress off the rack, DJ instead of band. Borrowed money from his parents, used savings. I attended, dressed nicely, sat in the front row. Sophia walked down a short flower-lined path alone, looking radiant in a $2,000 gown. She was beautiful, strong, principled. The ceremony was lovely, personal vows, laughter, tears. At the reception, she found me. "Mom, I'm sorry I hurt you. I stood by my beliefs, but I didn't see how much it meant to you." We hugged and cried. Reconciliation was slow. Individual therapy for her, for me, then joint sessions. She admitted the independent stance felt righteous, but ignored my emotional investment. I admitted tying money to the walk was reactive, but the pain was valid. 2 years later, our relationship is stronger than ever. Sophia and Ethan are thriving. They paid off wedding debt quickly and say it taught them responsibility. They joke about vow renewals where I'll walk her. I used the remaining fund on myself, a month-long trip to Italy, art classes, home renovation, joined a hiking group, even started dating. For the first time in 30 years, I put myself first. Was I wrong? Maybe a bit dramatic, but it forced growth for both of us. Independence isn't just rejecting traditions, it's owning all consequences, including financial. Love isn't transactional, but boundaries are essential. Parents, give generously, but know your worth. Adult children, your choices, your principles, but empathy is free. That's my story. Every detail, every tear, every triumph. Thank you for listening all these hours. I'd love to hear what you would have done. Until next time.